What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. We're going to do a quick one today. We've got the headlights on the Mercedes are a little bit faded and they're a bit crusty and they've been needing to be touched up for ages. I'll show you exactly what I mean. You can see all that oxidization and they're heaps faded and they just look really crap. So this one's pretty bad as well. Got the oxidization on top, if I can say that properly. So not really something that's been high on the priority list, but the 34, as you'll notice, isn't here at the moment. So I'm going to give this thing a little bit of love. We did a bit of wheel cleaning on it as well to get rid of the brake dust, but we've been shopping around trying to find something to do the headlights with, and there's a ton of stuff out there. Then some of the stuff's really expensive, some of the stuff's really cheap. So a little bit of research, and I guess some of the stuff that's on sale at the moment doesn't hurt either. But we found this stuff, Turtle Wax Headlight Lens Restorer, and there's two different types of these. One's a speed and one's a not. So I couldn't find a solid answer on the difference between the two. So don't take this as a very technical explanation of what this is or how it works, but I'm gonna give this a crack on the headlights. If I can get my shadow out the way. We're about to go on a cruise tonight, and we haven't got the 34, like I said. So we're gonna take the Merc out for a bit of a cruise and check it out. But we're gonna have a go at the Turtle Wax one. Let's get this open and have a look what's in here. So this one was about $33 on special, which is pretty good. I think the normal price is around about 45 or 50 bucks. We've got a couple of little bits and pieces in there, so sorry if that lighting's a bit crappy at the moment, but we've got some headlight lens repair and renew cream. Got a little sanding pad. So we've got two different sides for the sanding pad. It's a good size. Give the headlight on real stubborn headlights, it's good to give them a rough up. Probably not ideal putting that on the paint of the car. And then the other two things we've got are these wipes. So we've got a ceramic acrylic wipe. From what I can tell with my minimal research that I've done on this, like I said, I'm not a professional or anything like that, but what we're going to do is so we've already given these headlights a really good clean. We've just washed the whole car. You can still feel they're a little bit rough to touch. So what we're going to do is we've got some not very sticky tape, so this stuff doesn't like peel your paint off or anything. We're going to tape up around the edge of the headlight, and then we're going to squirt a little bit of this on there. We're going to give them a little bit of a scrub with the sanding pad. I'm going to check if there's so there's two. They're labeled first and second. And then once we do that, we'll give them a wipe over, and then we apply this over the top of the headlights, and that seals it up. Obviously, once you give them a sand, all that UV coating that's on the outside, which is what's discolored, then is gone once you've sanded it off. So this stuff, these acrylic wipes, will reapply that safety layer on the outside of the headlight. All the steps look pretty straightforward for this one, so we're going to go through and it gives you a brief explanation. As you can see, everything's all mussed up nicely, and well, as nice as it needs to be, just so we don't scuff any of that paint while we're going around with the sander. Everything's laid out, ready to go. We've given this a bit of a shake. Let's get this on the cloth and start scrubbing away. These are discolored all the way down the bottom as well. I'm going to start at the top and then do the front. You can see straight away why that tape's pretty handy to have there. Got some stubborn spots up here which we might get the sandpaper out with. Alright, so we've given that a bit of a scrub all around. We're going to give that a nice buff up with a cotton cloth. Definitely looks a lot better. I don't think it's perfect yet. Probably not as good as I was hoping, but we can definitely, it says to go over again and repeat if necessary. And then if it's still bad, you can move to that sanding process. Definitely a lot better. Still a little bit foggy. Still some stubborn areas around here. That's 100 times better already. So just showing you the difference there. You can see, I don't know if you can make out just some stubborn bits here. Still a little bit of ghosting along the front. But again, if you compare that to that, which is what it was, it's 1,000 times better. What we're going to do, we're going to move to this sanding process because I want to do it once and do it right. So we're going to add a little bit of water. We're going to give this a light sand and we'll see how it comes up. It's a bit nerve-wracking, to be honest. I don't want to wreck the headlights, but I think it'll come up really good. All right, so we're going to give this sanding step a bit of a go. I've got a cloth here. Just going to wet the headlight. Now it says, obviously start on one and you want to go side to side with your fingertips and then finish on side two, the opposite direction, and only in the problem areas. So we're going to make this nice and wet. Give this a light sand. Clean that and then we'll dry that as well. So I can still see a little bit of ghosting there. Might just go a little bit more, I reckon. Give that a clean. I reckon it is starting to look better already. Then we're going to go back to the restorer compound. We want to do this for about 30 seconds. And buff that clean with a clean part of the cotton cloth. It's not bad. Not bad at all, a lot better. So looking at that, that's the old headlight and then the new headlight. That is 1,000 times better. Still got a very, very slight yellow tinge. You probably can't quite make it out on camera, but it's definitely night and day difference. Like, look at that grey stuff in that one. It's definitely way, way better. All right, next up, we're going to finish this headlight off. It does say to do both, but I think it's if you only get one acrylic wipe. And we've got two ceramic acrylic wipe. Got two of the same thing. So it says to use a glove, which makes me worry what's in this thing, but we're going to apply this. We'll chuck the glove on. We'll apply this really carefully over the top. And it says it takes a little while to cure. So we'll do that, see how it turns out. Get that nice and wet in there. Squeeze all that down. Open it up. All right. So it says just to go back and forward. Oh. Cover that whole headlight. So all that stuff we've just sanded off, this is giving a nice coating back on it. Should be all good for another couple of years, hopefully. Got a nice breeze here too, so it should dry pretty quick. We'll let that dry 5 to 10 minutes. We'll get started on the other side. All right, that was hard work. So I'm definitely happy with how that's turned out. It was about 33 bucks from Bunnings, this particular one. It was on special as well. For $33 and the difference it makes to the headlights rather than buying new headlights or giving them like a full drill or, you know, a kit that you need a drill for, because that's starting to get pretty hardcore and pretty big risk of damaging the paint and heaps more effort. So for a hand applied kit, that has that sander included. I'm really happy with that. So let's have a look at how it looks at the moment. I'm about to apply the ceramic acrylic wipe to the second headlight. I did find that the first headlight, I think I might have put too much on there, and then it was starting to dry while I was still applying it, because it has gone a little bit misty where it sort of looks like it started to dry. So if you're doing this yourself and you're using this kit, I don't believe you need much on there. You just need to give it a couple of wipes so it's got a coat, and then let it dry. Don't let it dry while you're doing it. But it does say you can give it a polish afterwards. So we'll let that harden for 24 hours. It says it's dry in 3 to 5 minutes, but give it 24 hours to fully cure. So we'll go over it again in 24 hours, give it a little bit of a polish, see how it looks, but have a look at it now. So that is 1,000 times better. And I'm about to apply the ceramic acrylic wipe to this one, and then we're pretty much done. This one's got a little mark right on the front there, which I couldn't get off. I didn't want to sand too hard, but that's 1,000 times better. 1,000 times better. Just looking old and weathered before, so really happy with that outcome. I'm going to chuck this on, and then we're pretty much done. This one open. I'm going to go over it. Without letting it dry too much. So that's about all I'm going to do, I reckon. Probably take all this off without getting too much of that stuff on your hands. It does seem to be pretty toxic as well, I think. We are done and dusted with that one, that little job, little side quest. So that is the Total Wax Headlight Lens Restorer, 33 bucks from Bunnings. Pretty bloody good for a hand applied kit. I think the more effort you put into applying that onto the headlights, like if you can go over and over with that polisher compound, I think you'll get it even better than what I have. I think I probably spent about not even half an hour doing that, probably about half an hour give or take, and it's come up 1,000 times better than what it was. So really happy with that, guys. Thanks for watching. Hopefully the 34 will be back shortly and we can get stuck back into those 34 videos. We've got a few secrets up our sleeve, guys, so stay tuned. Appreciate you watching. Thank you.